Dolls. For decades, these eerie creations have been present within the horror genre. In modern horror cinema, there are plenty of examples of creepy dolls, heavily inspired by true accounts of haunted dolls such as Annabelle, or with a lot of influence from a gory slasher movie about a certain doll tormenting its child owner, Andy. Toy Story. Wait, no. Child's Play. There's pediophobia, the simple fear of dolls, and then there's automatonophobia, the fear of anything that falsely represents a sentient being. Ventriloquist dummies, store mannequins, animatronics. It's fair to state that a large majority of these fall face first into the uncanny valley. Well, today we'll be watching 5 examples of allegedly haunted dolls. Spirits that have found themselves trapped or perhaps at home within these creations. I've tried to find a mixture of videos, some almost comical and others disturbingly believable. Real or merely made for entertainment purposes? Let's find out. This first doll is allegedly possessed by a demonic force demonstrated by some paranormal investigators.
You heard what it said to me.
And I got it on video. Do it again.
The video description reads, "This was given by Gypsy Woman as a gift to a friend for Halloween. It's supposed to only sing and dance, but something went horribly wrong after it stopped working. It broke and was put away, and a year later was brought out and cleaned and checked to see if it would work. To my friend's shocking horror, it started saying things that weren't in its singing vocabulary. This thing only sang one song when it worked, and now instead of singing it said something evil." This is referring to the doll saying, "What do you want?" Sounds unsettling that the doll can speak words that weren't programmed. Well, it was programmed to say that. From my research, I found that this little guy is called Big Head Skeleton, a rather fitting title by the company Gemmy, who produced many singing and dancing holiday decorations such as this one. Not only is the skeleton programmed to sing, but he is also programmed to say, "What do you want?" What do you want? Along with "Leave me alone," "Boo," and screaming and laughing sound effects.
What do you want?
Yep.
What do you want? That's just what it said.
It is programmed to say that.
That is just what it fucking said.
It's on the box. The word it says most in this video is boo. At least that's how I hear it after also hearing different versions of the doll say boo. Although, since they had no experience of this doll saying that before, in this video it's been perceived as hell. They also go on to say the doll is saying no, when it clearly makes the same boo sound they perceived as hell, and even later recognizing the same sound as ooh and then you.
We're right here, we see
Said
you.
no. No.
What do you want? What do we want? We want you to tell us what you want.
Ooh. You.
Well,
Said you.
Are you saying you?
Haunted or not, it's pretty clear that they hear something different to better fit the question they just asked it, which makes this a lot more questionable.
What if I don't want you to have me? Okay, this is on tape.
You fucking heard it.
It's on tape.
You fucking heard it.
It's on tape.
Now it is saying you when you asked it a question.
It seems like a lot of this video could easily be a malfunctioned animated prop. This assumed to be haunted due to an interesting background of a gypsy woman presenting it as a gift, only for it to later say different phrases. However, these phrases are proven to be standard for the doll, given the many other uploads of people demonstrating the same doll and its programmed abilities.
What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want?
The skeleton is being an asshole.
He's trying his best, come on, it's been awfully hard for him since he was discharged from the skeleton war. You know, just ask my loving wife here about the struggles of her people.
Yeah, I must go, my love. My people need me to fight the great skeleton war.
No, not you too. Who's gonna look after our child, Johnny?
Yes, mother. What about me? Yeah. It's up to you now. Yeah.
I love you.
Yeah.
Oh, also the doll dances and sings Rick James' Super Freak.
She's a super freak, super freak. She's
Oh, hell yeah, this is my jam! Haunted or not, I just can't be mad at this guy. He's so adorable, happily doing his little dance. But this is where things start to get a bit weird.
Motherfucker!
As you can see, the movement becomes very fast and clearly not how it was designed to function. However, again, this isn't too uncommon with malfunctioned animated props, and from doing more research on Jamie's big head skeletons, you can apparently change their speed. Now, I don't believe this is what's happening in this video. If it is, it's clearly in combination with other factors, one being a malfunctioned electronic, and other possibilities including how it's powered using an adapter instead of batteries, and of course, perhaps it is indeed possessed by a demon. Also, you might want to stop this thing that you believe is possessed by a demon from getting too close to that knife rack right next to it. This ventriloquist dummy is supposedly haunted and tried to murder its previous owner. Now, on a completely unrelated note, I'm just gonna leave this here and turn my back to it. Whilst I am skeptical about this particular video, it is clear the two in the video are both very convinced and threatened by the demon they believe to be in possession of the doll, and for that reason alone, this is both a very interesting and entertaining video. Their reactions, along with the unexpected sudden movement of the doll, is unsettling to watch. The video ends with the button being pressed to turn the doll off, however, as shown early in the video, this is the button to make the doll torque. The doll appears to be plugged into the wall, surely pulling the plug out would be just as, if not much more effective at turning the doll off than pressing the button that you know makes it speak. And when it is finally unplugged, it completely stops moving. To me, this does seem like more of an electronic malfunction. Not to mention that the very video description states that this doll did in fact break, and that along with the evidence of the doll saying those other phrases in different videos by other uploaders, doesn't really persuade me into thinking that this doll is in fact possessed. These next two clips feature dolls that can supposedly have very negative effects on the viewer. These include, but not limited to, chest pains, nausea, crippling headaches, and divorce. I completely understand how this can be an incredibly unsafe thought for many viewers, so if you wish to skip this part, here is the timestamp if you wish to pause the video now, and skip to the 4th and 5th dolls. Still here? Okay, let's go. Peggy is a doll that caused its owner a lot of chronic sickness and nightmares, and so was given to paranormal investigator Jane Harris.
Right, Peggy, a lot of people have said that when looking at your photo, that they feel a sense of sadness and a sense of loss. Would that be accurate at all? Let's see, let's turn this. Was that you, Peggy?
It's an incredibly unsettling video given the background information, and especially with having the doll stare directly at the viewer.
Is that... Peggy, are you making those noises?
I imagine that a lot of people who saw this video or photographs of the doll wouldn't have experienced any negative energy if they hadn't read about the supposed haunting effects the doll has. Many of us will immediately feel negative effects after watching something with a supposedly haunted background. It's that ambiguity. We may not completely believe in it, but there's no certainty, and that's what makes us so paranoid, immediately searching for any negative feelings we may have, purely out of the fear of in fact doing so. I completely believe that this doll has caused a lot of negativity through photographs or videos of it, although you could argue it doesn't necessarily need to be haunted to in fact do that. I talked about this phenomenon briefly in my video on Ouija boards. If I were to wake up, go outside, trip over and scrape my knee, I'm going to think that's unfortunate and continue my day, forgetting about that within a week or so. But if a stranger were to approach me and tell me that they curse me, then later I were to fall over and scrape my knee, I'm going to be incredibly more upset and affected by the exact same event, as I'm associated with an evil curse. But maybe such an entity would feed off of that fear that we directly give it. With each and every view, it grows stronger from the fear that we're giving it. But I never forward those chain letters about how a spooky ghost girl will kill me at midnight if I don't forward this Facebook comment to 5 other posts, and so far I'm still ticking, so I do often doubt the existence of vengeful internet spirits. I mean, what, has Samara Morgan upgraded to social media? Oh wait, she has. And it looks terrible. But despite the possibility of a spooky placebo effect, once the first image of Peggy was posted online, Harris immediately received direct messages overnight claiming they've experienced negative pains and even heart attacks. Jane Harris was not publicizing any of this, so all these messages had no previous reference to base off of, proving my initial theory wrong. I hope more can be learned about Peggy in the future, and if there is a spirit attached to her, hopefully it will eventually be at peace thanks to its new owner both taking care and attempting to better understand her. And what could have caused Peggy to move on camera? Balance and gravity do come to mind, but given the haunting background behind this doll, this is pretty fascinating, and I would say a much more believable subject than the previous mention. Whether this is paranormal activity or psychological paranoia affecting the viewers, I'm very glad the doll has been kept for further research, and wish Jane Harris the very best in continuing to better understand and document such a unique subject. This brings us nicely onto Robert the Doll. Many people send this doll apology letters, pleading it to leave them alone after they disrespected Robert when visiting the museum he is displayed in. Robert is said to have caused car accidents, divorce, and broken bones. Could this be a genuine curse, or is Robert just something people have blamed for their tragic yet unrelated misfortunes? Either way, it's a safe bet to just respect the guy. Loving that sailor suit, Robert. You're looking great, buddy. Hey, if Annabelle doesn't call you back, it's her loss. Other than letters, Robert's fans have also sent him candy, money, and even occasionally, marijuana.
Till I turn into a fucking Martian.
Before put on display, the doll was said to have actively moved throughout rooms in his Florida house. But quite recently, Robert has actually been captured on camera, supposedly blinking. Some have said that this is CGI, and if so, it's a pretty well done and subtle job. Another possibility is that it's simply the lighting. This could very well be a reflection. It's not uncommon to see movement reflected in the glass case. This may be a camera flash or a cell phone light. There's a lot of movement going on in a tourist attraction, and with so many exhibits behind glass, there's going to be a lot of subtle reflections. And even if Robert is indeed haunted, it's pretty bizarre for the doll to somehow bend reality and grow eyelids. If you pause the video directly at the blink, to me it appears to look more like light in the eyes rather than eyelids. And notice how the camera is moving to and from Robert, yet focuses on his face directly before the blink, and then continues moving just after. But maybe this is his spirit slowly becoming more human through the fear he's gathered. With a horror movie and the mass circulation of spooky urban legends on the internet, Robert is more feared than ever. Just look at the YouTube comments. The vast majority are desperately apologizing to Robert for even viewing the video without his approval. Like Peggy, it's hard to tell if Robert's curse is genuine, but it's certainly disturbing to not only witness accounts of people dealing with such misfortune over these dolls, but to actually see possible movement captured on camera in both cases. And so to that, I'm sorry, Robert, and I hope you enjoy the joint. This next clip has been shared around by different news sites, describing a haunted doll that supposedly walks by itself when its hand is held. Unlike some other mentions on this list, this is almost definitely not a haunted doll in my personal opinion. Yes, I am quite the skeptic, but I'm also very open to and excited by the possibility of the paranormal, specifically haunted dolls, but walking dolls aren't anything new. These dolls are known as walkers or learn to walk dolls, and they are manufactured toys with the entire selling point being that the child can hold the doll's hand and walk with them. Are they creepy? Yeah, but not necessarily haunted. Here is a walking doll of my very own. Don't ask. As you can see, it walks in a similar way when I hold its hand, and this is due to a mechanism within the doll and not the doing of a supernatural force. At least I hope not. Whilst you could argue that the dolls in the videos could indeed be haunted and may not actually have the same mechanism inside them, it is a little too coincidental that they move identically to other manufactured dolls designed to walk in the same fashion. You can find plenty of non-haunted walking doll videos on YouTube, and they walk identically to the allegedly haunted ones. If the doll's body was completely hollow or solid with no such mechanism, it would likely not move in the same motion. It would move in more of a side-to-side shuffle than a backwards and forwards walk. The dolls in these videos appear to be handmade, and exceptionally well made at that, yet I don't think they were ever recorded to show a haunted doll, merely a walk with me doll that's been taken out of context by the internet. But regardless, they are pretty damn creepy, and if I was a spirit that could possess any object, I would probably go for the creepy walking doll. Here we have a short 9-second video in which a birthday present appears to move by itself, much to the surprise of the girl holding it.
Bueno, aquí les presentamos a la muñeca de Betty que se la regalaron a sus 15 años. Ay, no manches, mira!
Several people have mistranslated this clip to state that the girl holding the doll says the doll is ugly, or that she doesn't like it directly before the doll moves its head. This, while comical, seems to be false. I attempted to translate this video myself, and the actual dialogue is her simply stating the doll is being presented for her 15th birthday. So the doll is a quinceañera gift, a common practice for quinceañeras in which the doll represents the last things of a child, now that the quinceañera will focus on the things of a young lady. What a horrifying introduction to adulthood. Whilst these dolls are typically articulated like most other dolls, there is little to no additional information about quinceañera dolls that can move by themselves, specifically a head turn, although I'm sure an electronic doll could be modified or commissioned. A possible theory on the movement of the doll could simply be gravity. The doll has an awful lot of hair, and at the angle it's being held, it's possible that the head could have rotated through the sheer weight of the hair alone. Notice how the girl recording had little of a reaction to the doll moving, but the girl with the doll had an incredibly genuine reaction of terror. While she could be a great actor, personally her reaction feels real. This is our primitive initial response of fear. This could be a number of different things. The doll could be designed and manufactured as an electronic moving doll, which the girl receiving is unaware of, causing her to be shocked by the doll's sudden movements. Or, more likely, this could be a prank video. The girl behind the camera's reaction doesn't sound necessarily shocked, yet what she's saying is essentially, "Oh my god, look."
No manches, mi...
I feel like she is more than aware that the doll is going to move, and when it does, her reaction is there to direct the other girl's attention to the movement of the doll, thus triggering the desired response of the prankee, a lot more genuine than the pranksters. The girl behind the camera also has a slightly delayed reaction. Whilst I did consider the fact that when we're scared or shocked, we do take a short moment to mentally observe the situation, it really does contrast with the reaction of the girl of the doll. The camera movement for what looks like handheld pre-smartphone footage is rather steady. Look how the girl holding the doll physically reacts. She doesn't drop the doll, she throws the doll and then calls her hands up to her face in fear. That being said, many of us do freeze in fear, and I imagine this scenario is a lot scarier when you're holding the doll compared to holding the camera. Whether this video is real or fake, it does capture something very genuine, and that is a reaction. Perhaps the doll is haunted, perhaps the video is a prank. Regardless, this is a very real reaction of someone whose mind is currently under the belief that they have just witnessed a possessed doll move by itself, and that's rather fascinating. If I was in possession of a haunted doll, a doll that frequently moved by itself, and I was even able to capture said movement on camera, people such as myself would always be able to find a way to debunk the video and never believe me, and that alone is a horrifying thought. Are these proof of the paranormal, or is someone quite literally pulling the strings? Remember that you hold the power to form your own judgments and beliefs. My analysis and commentary on these videos is not proven fact, and neither is the existence of such spiritual entities being present in these very select videos. Whilst the comment section may be a place of debate when it comes to such a topic, please try to also keep it a place of respect. The key to coexisting as a species of creativity and opinion is heavily conjoined with acceptance of each other's differences. It's rather beautiful that believers and skeptics alike can find such a respectful companionship through the enthusiasm and interest in topics such as the paranormal. If you enjoyed this video, I may do some similar ones in the near future, as the topic of haunted dolls really fascinates me, and I'm considering doing some investigation type videos using a spirit box to communicate with allegedly haunted dolls, so who knows, maybe I'll capture some haunted doll footage of my very own. Let me know if you want to see that. I'm BaptismOnFire, thank you for watching, remember to watch the skies, stay paranoid, and trust no one.